Hola, mi amigos. So I'm out here still trying to get some junk off this thing. And I did, I counted these earlier, but it was just over 50. And that's the plugs out of here, along the bottom on the other side, and along the outside. I broke a drill bit for the hole saw, the third one today, at $9 a piece. So as you can see, this is just about 50 of these. And some are thicker than others because where they cut them out of, but I got 13 ounces so far. So with that in mind, you know, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? If you're trying to get it absolutely light as possible, it makes sense to me to cut the, you know, you got 4 sides of the front horn rail, frame horn. Cut 2 sides off, and then it still gives you some rigidity. You know, this metal up here is pretty thin. Some of the stuff down on the bottom, you can see that's like a double layer. But of course, you got to keep in mind too, the more you cut away, the less strength you have. So it's a calculated risk. But I did get this on. The welds ain't that great, but you know what? It ain't coming off. So since I broke that guide for the hole saw, what I've been doing is working on this back here, getting some of the undercoating out of here. I'm gonna put everything in here and weigh it when I get done to see how much it weighs. What I'm also doing is getting rid of some of this sealant they put on that's like gooped on with a white wall brush. It is thick, way thicker than it needs to be. And in a lot of places, they didn't even get on a seam. They just kind of threw it in the general direction of the seam. And I also found a couple more holes back here I need to weld up. I think going by the speaker wire, I probably had some speakers back here or something, but this is slow going, but we're getting there. The temperature's dropping down into the 40s so far today. Got up to a high of 53. And sun's going down behind a tree, so it's going to get cooler quicker. So I'm about to wrap it up and go inside and work on the harness I got in the inside on the floor. I got it on a big old blanket, moving blanket, and I'm going to go in there where it's warm and have fun with that wiring harness. I'm getting some of the, all I'm taking out of it is stuff for the airbags and the heat and air conditioning and the wipers, and the rest of it can stay. Of course, EFI, I'm on the driver's side. There's really not much EFI stuff over there. So, all right, appreciate y'all. Later on. What's going on, fellas? So, still out here working on this thing. Just taking a lot more in depth than I thought I would be. Finding some things I need to fix. You can see here what I'm doing today. I got rid of the seatbelt mount like that. Got that cut out. I looked at drilling out the whole spot welds, but there are a ton of them there. So what I'm going to do, I got the Flywheel on. I'm just going to grind these down a little bit, make them a little more, get it a little closer to the base sheet metal. And then then I don't have to use the interior panels that came in here because they had a huge hole cut in the back here for a speaker. Pirate has a set of panels for a non-airbag car, but he ain't told me how much he wants for them yet. So what these weighed is, this is all the remnants of it. Oops, 23.8 ounces. So that's a little over, about 1.5 pounds roughly. Not a whole lot in the big scheme of things, but it adds up. So that goes in there with all the other stuff I've taken off. Granted, it ain't gonna have like all the screws and bolts for stuff that didn't go back on, like the airbags, you know, all that doodads. And so I got some Rust-Oleum up in there. Got to give her another coat before I can paint the engine bay. I put a plug in that hole here. I forgot to weld this one. There's a couple other things I got to weld up, and then get all that wrapped up. I can get it painted. And still working on getting the undercoating off too. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. and it's Thanksgiving, so I can be quiet, not run the grinders or the drills or make a bunch of racket while I'm cooking a turkey. We got a turkey, and I've got a turkey cooker. It's actually an infrared cooker instead of like oil, but you prep the turkey the same way and it tastes just about the same. It's just healthier for you. So that's all. I just want to show you where I'm at, and we'll have an update later on. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All right, so I cleaned out the car so I could get at all the undercoating left in here. I've started taking out this stuff too, the sealant, because it looks like they put it on there with a mop. So they haven't got anything back here yet. I got to treat this rust, but that's what it looks like when I get the undercoating off. And the sealant, seam sealer, they put it on there pretty heavy. There's no need for all that. And a car, it's going to be on a trailer. So what I use to clean off the tar paper residue is this stuff. I saturate a green scrubby, put it on there. It's a little bit oily, so I can spread it on there and let it sit. Go do something else, and then after I get it all cleaned up, like back here, then just hit it with some brake cleaner, wipe it off with a paper towel, and then I'll probably go over it again with a green scrubby pad before I paint it, just to make sure it's got something for the paint to bite into. So I still gotta whack those two off. The two studs got to come off. I'll run that bolt in and the other one on the other side, and then cut it off, the excess on the bottom. I started putting some holes in here and a couple over here, but I don't know. I think the burr or the bit on the hole saw is kind of wore out, so I'm not sure it's worth it if I should buy another one or not. We'll see. I probably will, just because I started, so I want to make it all the same. But anyway, just use the heat gun, get the tar paper off. Dry ice is another option, but it wasn't an option for me because I don't even know where they sell dry ice around here. And if you're gonna have like a whole afternoon or whatever dedicated to it, then it probably would work out. But I just work on one thing a little bit, and then I distract myself with something else and move on to something, doing something else. So if you can focus, dry ice probably works. I haven't tried it, but heat gun works. Just got to be patient and get one of these things, because this works pretty good. I got it at Lowe's. I think it was like $8 or $10. That's the number on it. Works pretty good. You can use the point here to score the tar paper, so like in blocks, and then you take it off in pieces instead of trying to get a whole big piece off. But it comes off. It's just a little tedious. The sealant takes a little more work, but if you heat it up, it comes off a little easier. Alrighty, I'm gonna wrap this up, put her up on the interwebs. Appreciate y'all. Later on. Almost forgot. I found a freeze plug that fits that hole, and then I welded in. As you can tell, or fused the metal together. I'm not done with it. I can still doctor it up a little better. But it's a 555-124. It's a Dorman freeze plug. It doesn't fit in there tight, but it fits pretty close. So all you got to do is just, if you got a welder, zap it in there. And then I've got a cover made for all that. I just haven't put it on yet. So that's it. You want to add that to it? Little helpful tip there, hopefully, if you guys need it. All right, later on.